Okay. My voice remained steady. Catherine's voice rose. Good? Did you hear what I said? Yes, dear. You're going on a date with another man this Friday. And you're okay with that? Her surprise was obvious. Not at all, but what choice do I have? Like you said, I don't control you. You're on your own. Your voice and the look on your face tell me you intend to go for it. So what choice do I have? I'll be back. Don't let your fragile male ego get in my way. I love you and I'll make things right, you'll see. Then you know it's wrong. I kept my voice steady and calm again. What do you mean? I didn't say anything like that. I deserved it. Would your parents and mine agree with you? Catherine lowered her eyes and didn't answer, a sure sign. I let the moment rest in her mind. It wasn't visible, but I knew it was still in her head. You know, and I know they won't. You know what you're doing is wrong. You just said it. What? When? Why else would you say you'd make it up to me? If it was lunch with friends, you wouldn't have to make it up to me. Or if you were going to get a haircut. You just said it because you know what you're doing is wrong, and you know it makes you a bad person. Her voice betrayed uncertainty. But you said I could do it? No. I never have and I never will. I only acknowledge that I have no power to stop you. And I don't in any way approve of that. I'd like you to stay with me or go somewhere with me. We can go to the same restaurant and then to the same dance club. But it's not about the food or the dancing, right? It's about the company you prefer. And that company isn't me. You want that what's his name, am I right? Again, the upturned head and silence. What's his name, then? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to argue about it. Just know this. I don't want you dating Mr. Pussy Harry, and there will be consequences if you go out with him on Friday. What consequences? What your name is with Mr. Harry, I won't say. You're not only beautiful, but you're smart. I keep telling you those two things. Apparently, you think I only say them because I have to. I don't. I say them because I mean them. I'll leave it to you, clever woman, to guess for yourself the consequences of going out with Mr. Pussy Harry on Friday instead of me. You're bluffing. You love me. You always give me what I want. Well, and I want it. And like I said, I'll come back and we'll love each other and grow old together. I can't keep you from doing anything stupid, but you've been warned. You're on your own now. I got up, grabbed my keys, and left before she could say anything else. All week, the apartment had been chilly, to say the least. Thursday night, I picked up my things and moved into the guest room. What are you doing, Paul? I stopped with an armful of clothes, looking at her like a 2-year-old. I guess I grossly overestimated your intelligence. What do I seem to be doing? You're moving? Yes. My wife wants to date other men. You think I'm going to sleep in the same room with a cheating woman? Dream on. Her voice took on the sing-songy quality of a 5-year-old tease. You're such a little boy. Without a word, I grabbed an armful of clothes, hung them in a vacant closet, and went back for another batch. So now you're trying to punish the big bad witch with silence? She grinned. See how pathetic you are? Consequences, was my only reply. She can't say she wasn't warned. Friday afternoon, I left early and went to an upscale unisex barbershop where I got a professional modern haircut, a thorough shave with a razor and a manicure, only without all the shiny stuff on my nails. At the men's clothing store next door, I bought a casually elegant button-down shirt, slacks, and a jacket. I considered new shoes, but decided that new shoes and dancing didn't mix, so I declined. On the way home, I stopped at a car wash and did a deep clean. When I got home, I took a shower, and when I heard Catherine come in the house and take a shower, I went downstairs and waited. Half an hour later, she came down with a new pair of panties I had never seen before, a few inches above the knee, giving the world a generous view of her cleavage. She stopped on the last step and looked at me as if expecting a compliment. When I remained silent, she looked at me a second time, her eyes wide as saucers. Holy miracle! You look gorgeous. Where are you going? Outside. What did you think? I continued, mimicking her condescending voice. That your weak, clueless husband would sit at home playing with his little weenie, waiting for her promiscuous majesty to deign to show up? Shaking my head slowly, I opened the door to the garage and continued in a curt tone. And here I thought you were smart. How can one person be wrong? Well, I don't want to be late. Charmaine doesn't stand for it. Getting into my clean truck, I heard a shout and smiled. Gotcha. Charmaine and I had a great evening at the wine bar, which served light appetizers and had a live pianist playing on the weekends to fill the small dance floor. At work, we've already found that conversation between us flows easily. Even better, she appreciated my sense of humor. Yes, it's a cliché, but it's true. Few things capture a man's heart as much as a woman laughing at his jokes. Dancing together was like making love in shoes. We matched each other. And more than once, our lips touched ears, cheeks, and lips. Our bodies worked magic as we pressed against each other. But we both knew I was still married and understood what that meant and what it didn't mean. So we spent a long, leisurely evening drinking wine and letting our eyes play flirtatious games with each other as we talked. Catherine, as I said, is beautiful and passionate, but the flip side of passionate is jealousy, and I was pretty sure that the thought of me studying with Miss Dee Charmaine would drive her crazy and ruin the wonderful time she was looking forward to spending with her new and lustful Mr. Pussy Harry. When I dropped Charmaine off at her apartment, she did me the favor of dropping a drop of her perfume on my shirt and smeared her fresh lips on my shirt collar, neck, and cheek. Kissing my cheek, she wished me good night. Follow her, Tiger. We laughed as I got in my truck and drove home. It was barely 10 when I walked into a hard freeze. Where have you been? None of your business, I replied nonchalantly. You never told me where you went with your anonymous Mr. P. Harry. I'd ask if you used contraception, but I don't care if you rot from the inside out because I'll never touch your filthy, cheating body again. So I don't care where you went, what you did, or who you were with. I had a great time, and I'm very grateful to you for it. What do you mean, thank you? Don't you understand? If you hadn't gotten the stupid idea to open our marriage, I never would have had the chance to get to know Charmaine better. What a woman. Hot, hot, hot. So thank you, darling. Ah! Screamed Catherine at the top of her lungs, making me wonder if the neighbor was going to call the police. You know I hate that one of hers. Why do you think she was the first person I called? She stared at me, stunned. What did you say? Once again, I seem to have overestimated your intelligence. Get a grip, this isn't rocket science. You decided to reject me and rub my nose in it by dressing up for some anonymous scumbag, wearing clothes you've never worn for me, and you're surprised when I follow your lead. You renegotiated the terms of our marriage, without my objection, and I did the same thing you did. The only difference is that I was honest enough to tell you who I was dating. For some strange reason, you're too ashamed of your accomplices to name them. So, Ms. Rocketologist, what exactly is your problem? Letting the wind out of her sails, Catherine deflated before my eyes, 2 tears rolling down her cheeks. Without giving her a chance to catch her breath, I continued. Let me guess, Kevin South. Another squeal, this time full of pathos, filled the air, and she covered her mouth with her hands. How do you know? I spoke in the voice of a game show announcer. Once again, the inadequacy of your mind is on full display. Think about it. You work in an office with at least 10 other women. Kevin is Harry's biggest pussy that no one has ever seen. Everyone there knows who's sleeping with who, and they talk about it. You used to do that too. So, P-Brain, did you think for a second that you would be the exception? For over a month now, several of your so-called friends have been telling me that not only did you fall for Kevin's bullshit, but you started looking for him. Googly-eyed, one of your co-workers called her. Who knows? Maybe he dumped her for you. Hell hath no fury like hell and all that. If you believe the rumors, he was going to make you his tonight, even got a room at the Marriott. Apparently, he's using the Marriott for the first night. After that, it's the Motel 6 or the woman's house. Didn't you know that? Her wide-open eyes told me she was shocked and horrified at being made to look ignorant, gullible, and such an easy target. She burst into tears. "Oh, Paul, I'm so sorry. You're right, I'm such a fool. How can you bear to be married to a foolish cheater like me?" "Catherine, the good news is that I don't have to. I don't have to stay married to you. We're renting this house, and we have 3 months left, so you can renew your contract or use that time to find something you like better." "Where are you going?" she asked in a low voice. "Charmaine said I could stay with her while I figure something out. She has a second bedroom that she uses as an office. Once I filed, she said we could discuss better terms. When I told her I was filing tomorrow, she laid out those terms. Good terms. I can't wait to explore them further. Everything else you and I have, we'll just split in half. Now you can make love to whoever you want and won't have to put up with crap from a wimpy husband. I hope Kevin is worth it." Epilogue. One day after dinner, he discovered his car had been vandalized. Windows broken, paint scratched, baby poop all over the seats, wheels stolen, and I forget what else. While he was surveying the damage, 3 unknown men in black masks silently robbed him and beat him badly. The police were at a loss as to why the robbers would do such a thing. The police were puzzled why the robbers would want to reach into his wallet and fake Rolex and rummage through his family jewelry. But since there were no witnesses and the parking lot cameras were covered in paint, they had nothing to focus on. The 4 spouses of his victims played poker at one of their homes. After his recovery, he moved out of state. No one knows or cares where. Catherine moved, found an apartment. But when she realized I was happily attached to Charmaine, she too left the state. I never saw her again. I stayed with Charmaine for a while, but we both decided that short-term pleasure didn't necessarily lead to long-term compatibility, so I moved out and found a townhouse near work. As I got older, wiser, and fitter, I found a good connection with a co-worker at the gym I used to attend. One thing led to another, as it usually does, and I found happiness with a man who had real brains between his ears and loyalty in his heart. Subscribe to our channel to keep your partner from cheating on you, and listen to the next story because this story is nothing compared to the next.